Castaneda said, in the universe, there is an unmeasurable, indescribable force which those who live of the source call intention. And that absolutely everything that exists in the entire cosmos is attached to intent by a connecting link. I carried that quote around with me for 2 years before I started writing The Power of Intention. I had never heard it put that way before, that intention isn't something that you do. Intention is something that you come from. It's a field of energy, intent. He said further, sorcerers, that is, people who live of the source, which was something that I wanted to do, are not only concerned with understanding and explaining that connecting link between you and this field from which you originated, to which will return, but they are especially concerned with cleansing it of the numbing effects brought about by the concerns of living at ordinary levels of consciousness. You see, I didn't want any of my children to be raised to believe that they were ordinary. I wanted them to always know that they were extraordinary, that they had within them an invisible intelligence that you can't get a hold of, you can't see. It's an idea about who they are. And the idea that I told them, and I've always told them and still tell them, is that who you are is a piece of God. You at all times are connected to a great source. And if you stay connected to that and aligned with that source and begin to think and act the way this source thinks and acts, that you will have all the same powers of the source, because you must be like what you came from. And if you came from God, you must be like that if you can stay aligned with it and don't edge God out. E-G-O. Don't edge God out. Don't take on an ego that is the most dominant force in your life, in which you believe that who you are is something other than this divine being that you are. Children need to know this. We all need to know this about ourselves, because once you get this and really understand this, and you can get this in a moment, it might be this moment here this morning, but once you grasp this idea about your own divinity and recognize that you have within you that same power, you can see what kind of miraculous things that can happen in just a matter of hours when you are raised to be a self-actualizer. So sorcerers are not only concerned with understanding and explaining this link, but they are especially concerned with cleansing it of the numbing effects brought about by the concerns of living at ordinary levels of consciousness. The fact is that most of us are raised to believe in our ordinariness. And ordinariness, as when I use my hand up here, it's like up to the waist. This is what I think of as ordinary. And what I'd like to have you get to by the time I leave here is an awareness that you can elevate your consciousness. But in order to change, in order to become someone who lives at an extraordinary level of consciousness that Maslow taught me to live at and to work with people about, was in order to do that, you must be willing to change your concept of yourself. So you have to ask yourself, what is your concept of yourself? Your concept of yourself is everything that you believe to be true about yourself and about this world and about what is possible and about what isn't possible. And these are called memes. In a book I wrote a few years ago called Excuses Be Gone, we call these memes, these teachings that we have imposed upon us as little boys and little girls about how far we can go, about what is possible for us, about what we can accomplish, about how much abundance or prosperity we can bring into our life, about whether we can heal ourselves.